And we are back here into Nuke. Just a short little break to get us into the action here. Doesn't look like Classy is going to be joining us in the server. We do have Freshie still holding on, so we'll take him for the time being. All that being said, simple A-rush the cards here. A little utility thrown out towards mini, and they're just going to run straight on in. There's not a lot of presence here either. They went for a little bit of a gamble on the ramp side, and now hoping to pull off a retake on this A-bomb site.
Only double flash. They do have a kit though, and RZU just completely decimates. And we have an opening already. Double flash, easy as you'd like. Time ticking away. Gotta get the pedal to the metal.
Gonna dive out of heaven as well here. It's RZU trying to strike from above. Everyone's low on HP here as well. Knife out from Grape. I don't know what on earth is going on there. They haven't traded out Freshie, but a 1v5. Tough to ask of him. Infinite eventually going to trade there, and a very composed, a confident retake coming through from the Brazen boys. Super solid work right there.
Yeah, those double flashes working like a charm. Kit on Polo. I mean, the plan was absolutely immaculate there from Brazen. Teed up very well for them to get their first on the board. And that's what we were talking about in that pregame, that experience, the composure, it's all on Brazen's side, and it's going to be an uphill battle for Kari Esports. And the frags don't actually come their way to try to break and set the tempo early on. But a force buy to try to fight back here early on. He does get one, but gets blown up by JT.
Alright, a little nade set going on there. It works wonderful. Nicely done. Infinite gotta tap some heads away, though. This is some sharp shooting. Making that FAMAS sing. Florence looking to slip on by towards the back of Big Barrage. He has himself a little gap. A little opportunity here. If he can find an extra kill or so, that would be massive. No, he's calling for his teammates to actually find this kill here. Trade off the contact here, and that's exactly what Freshies does. That's beautiful work. A chance to win this round, yet slim. They need to rely on Freshies here heavily. RZU taking some pop shots again. Florence is on such low margins. A nice headshot coming through from RZU though to really shut things down. And Florence almost found one more on his way out, but Brazen going to be converting that round at the end of the day. In substance, though, you got to be happy with what you got there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a force buy, but it was actually a light pistol buy. They did get the bomb plant, so all that damage for not much investment is going to be very, very nice for Kari here. Especially if they convert this round. Hey, you've knocked Brazen quite early down to an eco. Having that T-side economy and keeping a foot down on the necks of the Brazen economy, that's really the name of the game here to rack up those T rounds. They come few and far between, but once you start getting those rounds flowing, they can come by thick and fast.
Yeah, I mean, you just won it and you'll instantly break that economy, and then that's when you can really start to build up a cushiony T side, which is the goal here at the moment for Kari, but easier said than done, it seems, as they've lost the opening pick. Great, be able to find that. They're looking to follow up off that success here. Seems like a lot of hesitation setting in the game plan after losing that opening advantage there. Great, good for the early kill. It's actually going to be him that's anchoring on that ramp side at the moment. RZU popping his head up just barely enough to see Cryptic right there. Cryptic gets a shot off, but it's not clean onto the head. It's just a wall bang there. Now the 5-on-3 ad. This is going to call for some desperate attempts here. I don't know what you can really do to pull this round back. They have no control. They're looking to slip on high. Dane spotted that. Still, though, Florence is going to pull things back just a little bit. They have an avenue of approach here. Polo has to do a whole lot. They mollied off towards Mini. They have to isolate this fight here. They're buying time for rotations to come on in. Polo striking from heaven. He doesn't find the kill, a little bit delayed. Volley goes on out. They're going to run straight to it. The flash already taking place. JT Mythic can fight all he wants. Again, a close round, but no cigar.
I mean, when you don't have that much control there for Kari, you're going to have to desperately walk out squeaky there through a smoke, through the utility. And they actually get some decent headway, but the crossfires are a bit too strong. Infinite striking with the quick lurk on the backside of lobby. And it works out. I mean, these rounds are close, sure, but at the end of the day, they're still able to rack up rounds. They can start to increase their economic chances as well with these half buys that Kari are trying to throw at them. So dodging certain death for now, as an upper execute is thrown, but it's all a fake. They're coming straight to Grape.
Just thrown out there. gonna help him escape there. RZU looking to find follow-up success. The op shot rattling off there, only good for one. And Freshies and Cryptic find a couple of entries here in this round. But not only is that op recovered, they also have an AK right behind him. Nice holding on to that. Not a lot of armor in this round being brought up. It's only Freshies with the armor here, so he's going to have to do a whole lot of the heavy lifting at the moment. But a 3v3, you know there's going to be gaps in this defense here. Some discomfort, and Infinite trying to make good on that by aggressing towards that outer yard. It's all a game of timing at this point. Freshies, the right idea here, but how long is he going to commit to this angle, and how patient is Infinite? It looks like very, very patient here. He's going to just sit on in towards Secret. Game of timing here. No, he just slips out perfectly into the crosshairs of Freshie.
Gives a little too much away, a bit impatient there from Infinite. And now look at all of the space that's opened up. And now Dane's trying to pick up the pieces that Infinite dropped away. And Freshie, he surely hears all of this. And that's an easy kill. And that's all up to Polo in a 1v3.
Looks like they have the right idea. At least going to grab the bomb here initially. Polo, an opportunity. Maybe barrel spotted, but it doesn't seem like so. East has coverage of the hut. First goes down, though. He's able to slip on by past the sight line of... Oh, my God. Freshies, but JT just delivers the finishing blow right there. And finally, one of these close rounds swings their way. And this is what we were talking about earlier. There's no money here.
That's backbreaking. I mean, I was discussing that this would be the padding round for Brazen, but it turns out to be their demise. Single loss bonus out on the cards for the CTs, and it's going to have to be a force buy. It's that double eco territory. And here's the ripe opportunity for Kari to strike right back, tie this game up. RZU's got his scout out in play, trying to throw some pot shots to the tees, but nothing landing on him yet. And Florence opening up the account with the scope rifle.
Such an aggressive stance right there from your upper, but one you can happily welcome if it's going to net you some opening picks there. Cryptic doing his classic Nuke performance of just solo lurking towards that outer yard. Going to make his move down. Going to be tested by Dane here. Tricky angles here. PT50 can really thrive in. Patient Cryptic is patient enough to let him walk right into the crosshairs here. And at this point in time, I don't know if there's any resistance really brought into this round. You can make a case to save here, especially with RZU getting dropped by Nice. 2 on 5, and yeah, holding on to these pistols is definitely going to be worth its weight in gold, as winning this round is pretty much impossible.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say it's pretty impossible. I mean, great stuff there from Kari. They've been playing quite passive when they're actually converting these rounds. They're hoping and praying that Brazen pushes into them, taking a lot of simple fights, I'd like to say. But the entering has also been very efficient. All in all, Kari has found a way back into this game quite early on, and staying within this game and not letting these CT sides run away from you is quite important, especially on your pick of Nuke. You know, this is the map that you've got almost officials played, the one that you have probably the highest win rate. Brazen kind of struggle on this map themselves. A lot working in your favor this time around, if you're on the side of Kari. So hopefully there's an actual conversion here. This should be the easy conversion with the stock pistols before the buy actually comes out.
This is where we can start talking about a little cushiony half coming through from Kari as well. If they can really build some foundations off of these starts that they're able to get, then be right back in the money. Infinite testing the waters towards his side. He's got himself one of the better weaponry here, but everyone's falling in the meantime towards ramp, so this round done and dusted essentially. Brazen not offering too much resistance here on Polo. See if you can find anything. I'm just interested in the positions here of Brazen. Because again, I've kind of seen this drop off of stats and gain. But it's very typical. I wasn't expecting that. And I think it's because he's kind of shifting in roles, right? Polo in this team now playing that, you know, A anchor, that upper side anchor. And now you see Dane kind of in a much more rotation heavy role. He's sometimes in secret, sometimes, you know, rotating out of heaven. And it's interesting to see that. I think that's maybe alluding to the discomfort in his positions. But again, Dane's a player that you can kind of trust in those important roles. Even if he's uncomfortable, he's going to do great work.
Certainly. I mean, as one of those anchor players, the stats don't necessarily matter, and the stats don't tell the full page tell the full story, right? It's nice to know that you have somebody to rely on to get you that 1 kill and those 2 kills to kind of keep your team in the round, although your stats do tank because of it. Uh, Definitely the unsung hero throughout, unsung hero of a role throughout any team. But it's good that you would have a more experienced player like Dane on your team to actually try to keep the more aggressive pieces of Brazen in check.
No doubt. Lovely addition to any team. That's for sure here. Not the best of buys even despite this kind of double save forced by into the USP round. You can see a couple of FAMASs definitely lacking in this utility. And, I mean, Nuke's such a utility-centric map. It's very important to have here. RZU making a slight sound cue inside of the vents. I wonder if that's to bait out further presence here. It's just popping some shots off. You're gonna toss a smoke to one of those A anchors as well to continue to just recycle that towards Squeaky. And they're very much so holding their own. Infinite entrusted with the entirety of this outer yard here. Cryptic this time not going to meet him head on. Instead going to delay this round out ever so slightly. And this has kind of been consistent with Kari.
I mean, look at this. They're just holed up in lobby for such a long time. Granted, the smokes have been causing them a little bit of concern, but only this sole Molotov on the hut player of Polo. Okay, that's the final smoke. And I believe that Cryptic is probably just going to try to look for an opening and surge forward here to allow Kari to break open this A bomb site, because right now Squeak is just firmly shut off from the team. Well, he misses.
Ooh, that's massive, but Polo's still stepping it up, and same with Dane. The two FAMASs working wonders there. Money well spent, but then they're starting to lose these numbers here. Freshie finally finds an entry, and JT's made its way down in towards the lower bomb site. Not able to sneak on by this sightline of RZU. There's no way he's playing on the ladder right now, but it's working to perfection. Now, bomb being recovered this round is going to be near impossible, though. Too many angles, not enough time. And they do close it out, but it's all off the back of RZU playing inside the ladder. If he goes down right there to the lurk of JT and they're able to sneak their way down the vents, that's an open B bomb site and a man advantage right there. The fact that he steps up is everything.
The noise being made there, I'm still not sure if that was an accident or if it was on purpose, but it served its purpose very well regardless. The upper anchor is doing very well. I'd love to see what Polo actually did there to stall. Even though the Molotov missed, the idea was still correct. He still got the necessary kill, allowing the back silo player to do well. Very well done from Brazen to get their 4th on the board. But again, Florence with another opening pick to start off this 8th round. And still not the most amount of utility. A solo Molotov for the camp of Brazen. Like, not having Molotovs on this map is a super big concern, because that's when you can start to get overrun, and that's how you kind of invoke fear into your opponents, especially on the T side. You'd love to have some of those, and it's only RZU with it, and operas don't necessarily always use their utility quite frequently, so it's free in the ramp here.
Very free, and now they're starting to realize that with 55 seconds left on the clock as well, you can only imagine they have a world to work with. And Polo knows that as well, right? And he's going to look to take that gap in towards the lobby side. Cryptic and JT both falling. All of a sudden, they're going to be able to start make their move on in towards this east side, but now they're standing at a man deficit. Double door swinging open. RZU's attention turned every which way. Flashbang so well placed. It's going to be one and another. Great flashbang from Nice. Rather Freshies, and finally Nice going to be the one to get put down, but it's a 2v2, and look at the HP bars left. Dane and Infinite working with scraps at the moment, and they're not going to even be interested in going for this round. That is beautiful.
Man, that flash is timed to perfection. The swing even better. Nice doing his work very, very well. I mean, even if he goes down there, no harm, no foul. Double dinks up for Dane and Infinite, and they're out of there. The AWP still recovered, but the economy, not so much. I mean, I'm assuming they'll probably force around these just because there is still some residual cash. But hey, Kari, they're still stringing together a couple of decent rounds here. And really, you'd only need 5 or 6 if you're thinking about closing this map out in your favor, converting your map pick.
No doubt. I mean, assuming they do have that depth on Nuke, if they can, figure out 6 rounds, even 5,
Definitely
solid, it's gonna be very, very comforting for them here. Timeouts being called all throughout. I can only imagine this is from the Brazen camp trying to figure out how exactly they want to be going about these rounds. I mean, even there, I like the reaction, the proactivity coming through from Brazen in the 4-on-5. The issue is, it comes maybe a little bit too late. Also, that the individual stepping up, Freshies and Nice. I say individuals. Freshie with the best flashbang known to man right there, and control. But it's hard to deal with, I think, at this point. Brazen looking to maybe stomp some of the momentum out. Not going to be easy as well here. They're feeling maximum confidence at the moment, Kari, and RZU looking to take matters into his own hands. He's got the op, he's got the A1S close by here, so they're looking to assemble a bit of a setup. RZU going to drop Cryptic early, and now this will allow Dane to really shine in his position.
Oh, beautiful. I mean, that was such a beautiful little bait setup there. It forces their hand to push in the ramp where Grape's waiting in open arms of the D. Misses the first shot and Molotov'd off. It's back down to the B side again, but RZU, he's fast on the trigger. AWP still in his hands to try to convert this round. And he's got another.
Might have to slow down there just a little bit as that smoke gets bloomed, but the issue is now for everyone here is already on the site. Polo gonna find a kill. Might be worth trying to go down swinging here. Oh my god,
Okay.
Florence has himself 3, cannot spin in time. That would have been insane right there, Florence. Could have gotten away with murder. A little 1-on-5 to start our day, but no, it gets shut down eventually. Brazen off the back of that bait and switch setup, they do win that round.
Yeah, it all starts with that setup, and as soon as they understand that ramps to play, Grape comms over everything Brazen needs to know, and an even faster rotation from RZU. Man, fantastic work from him there on the AWP. Hits that necessary radio shot, and the rest is history. They can just overrun the site, make sure that bomb doesn't go down. And an unlikely round victory here for Brazen. Right back into the thick of things. Right when I thought Kari might have overtaken the lead, had firm control of this first half, it swung right the other way. And it's Kari now having to take a look at their funds and say, we've got to win this. And it's not started well. Their hard entry Cryptic has gone down quite early on.
Big pickup right there. Cryptic hitting the deck. That's going to alleviate so much stress. I mean, if you've ever played this team, you know if you take him down in the outer yard, you could almost call this clear at this point in time. So now that Brazen know that, now that they've been able to flush him out of the round, it's going to be so much information going their way here. But they do eventually throw the recycled outer yard smokes back down once again. We're going to double down on that front here and look to make the cross with 4 players standing. A full team effort. But it is a lot of time off the clock here. You're looking at the moment, 40 seconds left. And Infinite soon going to start to hear these footsteps. He's still tucked in towards Electronic, and Lawrence, you got to respect the individual efforts, but it's a late place for Infinite. He struggles, and all of a sudden, this could bring that site collapsing. Staying in the back of Silo, a comfort spot for him. He's always going to shine here, but he's able to line up one, not the second. Takes down the low HP bar, buys time for RZU to strike from above, and this nade might finish the job. Perfect bounce right on Freshie, and then that will be it.
RZU doing his trigonometry there, lining it up perfectly. Oh man, I mean, fantastic work there from Brazen again. Labored spray from Infinite, sure, but the crossfires were still very well done there. RZU has stepped up in these past couple of rounds. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. Op shots delivering some difficult ones, some simpler ones. All of them have been necessarily landing for him, and that's all great for Brazen, especially if the so-called stars that we discussed about previously, the pop-off, the potential pop-off performances from Infinite, sometimes Polo as well. Not having that and having RZU actually step up is very important for this squad, and it's paying dividends so far. Very well done from Brazen there to shut that buy round, and basically the last of the buys from the Kari Esports funds.
Yeah, what RZU's doing right now is just that classic CT opping on Nuke, where it's just super rotation heavy, but you're meeting
Definitely.
them at every punch right there, right? He is always in the right position, and if you're Kari, that's not fun to deal with. That's the most frustrating kind of CS to play against right there. And so if RZU can keep this up, man, he's going to set himself up and the rest of his team for so much success. Got Infinite looking to set his team up as well. He hears all these steps. Great utility tossed in as well from RZU, but just gotta buy a little bit of time here. And the silent crawl coming through from them. He's not going to give up this info.
Yeah, nobody's watching the gap as well, so no harm, no foul. And Infinite,
he spotted him.
He gets caught in the back.
Oh, that timing's horrible right there. Polo's luckily down in this bomb site, but all of a sudden you're gonna get overwhelmed quickly. Nice doesn't react. He's able to turn in time. Polo lining up 4 kills. Mopping up the eeks right there, and Freshie's now left it to a 1-on-3. Smoke down to try and maybe play off these angles. All of a sudden, this round's gone sour. He's got an AK in his hand at the very least. Oh, Free Fire looked to be right on the money, but he's dealing with 2 ops on the other end. Do they want to peek out? Grape playing a wise game here, but if he continues to stick out, that could be an answer back. A 1-on-2 that you just really don't want to give for free. And wisely, he's not going to go for it. Freshies does have time to reposition, though. There's potential. Take a different avenue of approach. They didn't realize that he slipped on by his crosshairs, though. Oh, okay. Grape's gonna zone in eventually. Timing could have been so massive right there. The other opper actually rotated off of B, so... Oh, a scary scene there for Brazen, but Polo saves the day in a big way.
Man, I really thought Polo would just get overrun there, but very well done for him, staying calm and collected. That triple spray down isn't the easiest. He's got to actually maneuver the angles around quite well, and he does so extraordinarily. 7th on the board for Brazen, and it felt like we were on even footing for quite a bit of time, Cole, but it's running away from Kari slowly but surely, and what seemed to be a promising half is slowly slipping away. Obviously, there's still quite a number of rounds to play with, and they can still pull this together, but surely the momentum is swinging into CT's favor here.
Yeah, it seems like it. Right? They're starting to get a grasp on this game quickly here. I mean, despite the string of rounds Kari were able to get, all of a sudden you're running into some of these issues, right? RZU on the op. You're running into Polo with the fast rotations and the good utility, so... There have been solutions here. There have been adaptations from Brazen, and it seems like Kari's struggling to deal with that. I do like this attempt, though. A little reposition. An attempt fast towards A, but RZU again, man, look where he's standing. Always in the faces of his teams, although Dane's going to get caught tossing some AKs down, and all of a sudden, this site comes collapsing. It's Cryptic and needs to find all the entries necessary and Grape in a 1-on-3. And this is surely a save call. I know he has a full belt of utility, but getting out of heaven is near impossible with an op. Will certainly help here somewhat. Oh, I think that volley landed on top of Silo, though, instead of the hut. 50 damage taken off his shoulders as well, and that's enough to keep him away. He will eventually dive on out of this round, and there you go, Kari able to deal with that. I thought RZU was again going to be, you know, the difference maker in this round, but the great utility usage. They got that molly in the back of Silo, the entries were there, and job done.
Flashes were good as well. I mean, they really made Brazen feel uncomfortable there. Breaking that inner hut setup is a difficult one, especially when you've got the ADBB posted back Silo, and you've got a front rifle close up to lobby. But a couple weapon mismanagements there, and Kari runs away with it. I mean, no harm, no foul. Even with those shenanigans that are going on in the lobby, it still seemed as though Kari had things under control with how efficient those trades were. And it's, again, wrestling for this economic control. Brazen poloed, especially down to a 5-7, and Dane on the MP9. These upper executes actually looking pretty fierce. But it's outside the port of call.
This is insane from RZU, and finally, they're figuring out how to deal with RZU. A leg shot, but not kill confirmed, and then Cryptic's able to capitalize off the back of that. That is Some beautiful spacing taking place from Kari, and now off the back of that, little Bogdan's Law and Order. I don't know what's going on here. Why is Anise on the up of all people? But there you go. So eventually switching over to JT's hands. Now, off the back of that opening pick, they're just going to start to make their move on. Now, Florence wisely looking for some of this lobby aggression, and he does find it. Now, the issue is they don't really hold on to this position. Instead, they retreat. And now, talked about RZU's ops rotations being on point. We'll see if Grapes can be the same. He's going to be tested on this lower bomb site quickly. Oh, he's going to push through the double doors. The HE coming his way. That's going to limit his cover. He's going in for rotations. He does have a rifle close by. Utility work trying to create space, but again, Infinite's left to his own devices on the back of the site. He's able to help out from the control room. And all of a sudden, these numbers start to drop here. Dane looking to pinch in on them as well. Angles patiently. Nice is going to get swung on and nails Dane to the wall. Now, there's an avenue. They could make it in towards A, but they don't have the bomb at the moment.
Don't have the bomb. And they don't have the HP either, Cole. This is going to be a real tough nut to crack, but they've got to smoke to at least get themselves out of single.
10 seconds. They literally have to get on the bomb right now. A little reposition. Oh, but the kill coming through. It's all on the back of JT Mythic. He's getting pressed on here. He needs to land some shots, and no, Grape gonna end it. Nice attempt on the clutch for JT. At least he gets the bomb down, but it is a nice recovery from Brazen. They get those rotations very quickly on towards that lower bomb site, and that's exactly what they needed to win the round.
That's been the difference maker, right? Like RZU with the AWP, this time Grape as well with the saved op this time around. It's all been very efficient from Brazen. I'm liking what I'm seeing in that department. Obviously, the frags seem a little bit more impressive from Kari, but at the end of the day, if your rotations are swift on Nuke, especially on the defensive half, it'll certainly net you some rounds, and that's how they basically confirmed their half win.
And now they can get some extra credit here. They have slipped one down towards the vents. Can be a pretty powerful position if utilized correctly, and at this point, it's job just to cut off these rotations here as the rest of the team look to group up towards ramp. Now, again, man, you gotta give RZU credit. He's in the right position, but the shots, the execution, maybe not all there here. Secondary up around the corner, Grape. Oh, and he can't land it either. Oh, they're gonna start to scale on in. No scope's not connecting, surely, and Cryptic gonna find the entry behind the smoke. A 4-on-5, and again, if you remember, that early drop down the vents from JT is gonna cut off this crucial bit of rotation. All 4 players coming through secret. This isn't ideal at all.
Oh, this round's over. I mean, Infinite's the only real person that has headway, but none of his team is behind it. They've got to push through the smoke blind, and this is going to be difficult, but Dane still gets an opening somehow. How have they gotten into radio? How have they gotten into double? And, okay, luckily Nice actually pulls things back, and it forces RZU and Polo to kind of say, okay, we got to get the hell out of Dodge as well. Not really sure. Okay, there's nobody actually watching these choke points, and Polo gets away scot-free. The double op is still retained. But that's a problem when Grape's actually the opper on the ramp side of things. If that op is overwhelmed, the round can quickly slip out of your control. That is your lower anchor, and this time around, Grape can't land the shots. RZU also can't do the same. And there is a bit of give and take when it comes to these double op setups. And this time it kind of rears the more uglier side of it.
Yeah, I mean, you see the issue with the double up as soon as they miss 2 shots, right? I mean, if those 2 shots were converted, that would have been the round likely in the bag of Brazen. But when they don't start to connect, then yeah, massive problems can hop on in. I feel like at this point, Kari definitely locking in what is a half that they'll be happy about at the end of the day, for sure.
Certainly.
Now, if they can get this 7th, that'd be the icing on the cake. Looking good to do so. The buy isn't too insane here from Brazen. Oh, with his position. Sticking his nose out there is Infinite right behind the door, but not coming out. The main form of approach is going to be getting towards Hut, and they're fighting all the entries. Freshie just has to wait patiently for them to walk into his crosshairs, and that'll be the A site claimed so quickly. Great. Obviously going to give it the old college try, but if he won't even be afforded that opportunity here as utility just constantly tossed in towards heaven. They know exactly where he's coming from. They'll just wait for him to drop. Only a matter of time here before we see them claim the 7. Not without a nice shot connected here. Has a smoke. So there's a world here, but I don't think we're living in it. He's going to make his way out of heaven. Take it down so very low. Finished off by Nice here. We'll throw it to a quick break, and we'll be back with the second half of Nuke right after this.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
And we're back. Second half of play taking place, and gonna be hopping into this this Nuke side of things here. More typical pistol, I will say. Triple swing in towards squeaky door, and then ready for that A side defense here. Dualies are out as well, and then through the mollies. Instantly pushing in towards this A side, and well, they found all the entries. Oh my god, every last one of them. Not a single man left standing. It's just freshies with the dualies here. 2 guns to deal with 4 players. It's unlikely odds, but he's found the first. I don't even know how he saw that player, but there's one. 3 more to go to turn the corner. Isolated duels here as well. Access points, but no. Great. Gotta put an end to things before it gets too wild. I'm surprised it went so poorly, though. They had 4 players on that A-bomb site, and they only find 1 kill on the site hold.
Yeah, that was some swift, a swift crunch there from Brazen, fighting through mini, fighting through Hut, fighting through Squeak, like all of those individual fights going their way. The insta-dink with the Glocks working out in beautiful, beautiful favor. And it's just a complete overrun. Yeah, I'd say a defensive collapse there for Kari. But hats off to Brazen for hitting those necessary shots. But here comes Brazen, and here comes the Zeus. Doesn't actually land this time around, and it's a free path to the B-bomb site.
Brutal stuff, man. You hate to see that. Get my hopes
Point
up.
blank, too.
No kidding. Got my hopes up so much right there. You can respect this full eco, right? Kari,
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, there's one. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. But you can respect this full eco, right? I think this is a kind of testament to the confidence that we're working with on the Kari camp, right? Because, I mean, 8-7.5 on the T side here heading into your defense is going to be pretty solid here. Right, you got a lot of room to work with at the moment. The Zeus inside of the vents. JT got something special cooked up for us. They're just not giving them to him. See if you can find a little gap. You're gonna chase them. They're all in. But Nuke, even if they did a little bit of damage, right, his bomb is coming. So there's no Dojin nades or containing games like on Inferno. This is a different story.
I respect the actual willingness to play a bit more passive there, not force out and give up some of those guns. It's a small detail, but it's one that could have a lasting impact, especially with that second round full save from Kari. And you look, there are some setbacks with not the best utility of JT on a FAMAS, but no matter. The opening still goes to Cryptic. Still a nuisance on outside, even though we've switched halves.
He always is for his teams. He's going to find at least the opener here. I don't know if they've realized that Polo slipped on by, so at the very least they could have some rotations to cut off. And if they do slip on by in towards the ramp room and Freshies gets overwhelmed, then we can start to talk about recovering this round very quickly. That is a big if here. At the moment, slow crawl coming through here. Utility going to be tossed on in soon. I say they have to commit.
Yeah, there's a timer on this lurk, right? There'll come a time where it actually loses its luster, and they've got to figure out how to pounce it. The time is ripe according to Brazen right now, and they've gotten all of this ramp pressure. Florence can't really do anything about it. Flashed off as well. Sitting on this, I mean, you've got 35 seconds. You've got to hurry up the pace, and Nice, he wants to shut down things a little bit more. 5v3 now for Kari. Time continuing to get whittled away here, and where do Brazen really go? Again, this lurk from Polo, it's losing its value.
Especially if they're going to reroute in towards this A-bomb site, then it's going to have absolutely no value. He's going to be on the wrong side of the map. Yeah, he's dropped. I'm interested in what the game plan there was. And going to try and fight his way, but 10 seconds left. I mean, round isn't going to be converted, right? So it's all about exits here. And that won't be confirmed. Cryptic will put an end to things. But yeah, that's a big red flag right there, right? Polo as the IGL. I mean, that's an easy call to make, right? You get down lower. You have the Vince and Secret cut off. You could think that there's a player somewhere in the vicinity of the lower bomb site, right? But when you start to scale towards ramp, you don't want to make your way back in towards that A side, because then Polo's position going to be near obsolete.
Absolutely. I mean, and they even got ramp control pretty much scot-free. At that point in time, it is a slam dunk round. That should be a convert. Every day of the week, you trade efficiently down the lower bomb site, and that should be all she wrote. But we're in a completely different situation this time around. Polo and Dane get some pretty crispy digs, but outside is completely stifled. Kari are back in this. 9th on the board, shaving rounds down. And before you know it, the momentum will slowly start shifting back on over to the CTs. These opportunities are limited, but hey, you got to pounce on them while the iron is hot.
That's just it, right? We're going to see that slow shift and momentum back in towards that CT side. Because once they start to capitalize off of these rounds and start to build up some foundations, you know, a little bit of economic reserve, And very quickly, you're gonna realize you're kind of, you know, out of this game, and that's not a position that you really want to be in. Of course, this is the map pick of Kari, so it's not the end of the world if Brazen go down on it, but we're gonna need to see some of those factors, you know, some of that experience that we were mentioning in the game show up here, because now they're in a position where they have to pull things back if they lose this round, and on the T side, that's unlikely. Oh, beautiful HE Cryptic, ever present here in the outer yard, spotted out. Oh, but if he shows enough shoulder, he could go down. He does just that. It's only a tag, fortunately for him.
I know we're mentioning that we need to see that experience show, but the early signs don't necessarily suggest as much. We need to see a bit more depth and a bit more, you know, decisiveness in this T side from Brazen. And they've gotten all this outside control. Now, are they going to effectively utilize this map control, or is it going to be a different facet to a very similar situation in round 18, actually? Survey says, I mean, honestly, I don't really know. They only have really one smoke to use. They've got plenty of flashes. But look, they've gotten all this space. They've got to do something with it, Cole.
If they do. Oh, going to be chasing things down. He spotted out the jump spot here. But it is some very solid space that they have. And already, they found one pick. And towards that outer yard, so could create some slower. Pop some shots off and down goes Freshie. That's going to be the A anchor, or rather B anchor, taken care of. Are they seriously going to go in towards the A side?
No.
Surely they don't do this. They found the A anchor, but now they're going to walk into a crossfire of HUD and sight, and it all comes collapsing. What was that rotation?
Oh no! What kind of read is that from Brazen? You've literally not seen a single soul, and you've gotten a wallbang kill through the wall. You've gotten rid of the B anchor. That should be, again, another round to be easily converted there for the T's. And yet another slipping through the fingers of Polo and company. Oh, man. Yeah, take attack there if you're Brazen. You've really got to figure things out there. What was that, like a 2v5 on site? That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, they had that last player rotating in through ramp, right? So he was kind of removed from the situation. It was just that cut back of Vint Crossfire that did everything right there. And I mean, it's the exact same issue, just kind of a different position from Brazen that they fall into. It's that, you know, reroute in towards the A bomb site. This time they even have more of a case to hit B. They've flushed out the B anchor. A bit of odd calling there, like you said. Maybe this timeout can bring some life into this T side, but after a round like that, I don't know if much can. I think you've just given over so much momentum and confidence to Kari. A 3-on-5 converted that easily is very tricky to come back from.
And for that to happen back-to-back rounds when you got guns out, that's just brutal. And look at all this confidence being built up. Freshie not at all phased by the pistols of Brazen. It's just Infinite left up here. Gets a crispy little dig on a JT. But that should be everything to be written home about in this round here. Nice rather, closing things out. And we've got a lead here for Kari Esports. Look at them climb their way back into this map pick of theirs.
That's just beautiful work being done right there. Take the lead late into the game, but better late than never. Especially if you're on that CT side as well. Like
Double up on the T side.
Oh, are you kidding me? I mean, if this isn't a sign of the times, I don't know what is, right? This is like your last ditch effort.
Definitely. Hail Mary. All that good stuff.
Oh my goodness. And I guess Brazen for a good reason here. They are playing out of their mind aggressive with the ops. Dane behind the smoke, but there's one. Not necessarily the op here. Playing off the cap in the smoke. Infinite was even semi-ready for that, but won't even matter. Cryptic, a step quicker. He's going to sit you down here. 3-on-5 now. looking to pick up the pieces. But again, included in this 3-on-5 is 2 pops on the T side here.
There's no room for Brazen to really move around this time around. Especially, yeah, Freshie taking down Dane as well. One of the ops out of the equation. There's nothing really being offered up from Kari here. Very sensible Counter-Strike in the man advantage situations. And yeah, even Cryptic isn't flushed out here with the smoke. He does get spammed a little bit, but no harm, no foul. It's just very, very sensible Counter-Strike being played here from Kari, and they're rightfully converting some of these rounds that are being offered up to them. It's nothing too complicated. They're playing the crossfires efficiently, and the individuals on Kari are starting to get a little bit more confident, more confidence to take these more aggressive duels, and they're coming out on top. RZU finally pulls one back, but Polo's already run for the hills. This round's over.
I mean, this one was kind of a wash from the get-go, wasn't it? I mean, you find
Certainly.
a couple of kills here and there towards the outer yard, I guess. If you're carrying, that's just enough to completely deter. And honestly, it makes sense as to why they're deterred, because they've got 2 ops to try and play a 3v5, and ideally you would have, you know, a rifle there to take some space or something, but it's not the case here. We're using all those timeouts, so that's for sure. Which maybe is promising, but I don't think it's really going to matter, right? Because you seemingly lost the mental game here in terms of the confidence, and I think on top of that, you know, the strategical game too, right? They've constantly had the better reads here, the better positioning. Or maybe it's just Brazen more so outplaying themselves more so than Kari playing a super stellar CT side. Because, I mean, honestly, most of the faults here have come through the rotations of the T side, so tough to claw back from.
Those crossfires are difficult, are pretty simple to hold, but some of the shots that they had to hit were still pretty difficult. So I still have to say, even though Brazen has been kind of kicking themselves and dropping the ball in some of these rounds, Kari has still done a very, very wonderful job in staying put and staying true to staying within these games. I mean, it's a difficult type of thing to come back and stay in this game for this long, especially this late into the map. But they've stayed true to their beliefs, and hey, they're in pole position to close this map out, especially with the amount of confidence that's in their favor. They've gotten down to the lower side, Brazen. But what do they do with this now? What kind of inflection are we going to see from the T's this time?
Oh, a bit unfortunate there on the timing, showing some face there is Dane. But, I mean, it's sure a little bit of info given over, but as long as you're not going down there and you're able to continue to take space, it's still going to be some valuable positioning. And in this occasion, maybe they can make a better case to go in towards that upper bomb side. All of a sudden, you've got a potential to move on in through heaven. You got a couple players looking it out towards lobby, so in a round like this, it's much more enticing to actually hit that A bomb site here. But are they going to go ramp?
No. It's another misdirection here from Brazen. JT's got the first, he's got the second. He's done his job as a lower anchor, honestly. And at this point, the rotations could come in, the flanks can start to unfold. And although Infinite's got all the space, okay, actually, I think he's got the timing here on Florence. Maybe this might actually be a round to convert for the Brazen side. Finally, the overthinking has come to a close. They've gotten the bomb plant. And they've got the man advantage. A very difficult situation for Nice. And the spell has been broken. And 11th surely on the cards here for Brazen.
That's a much needed round right there, right? I still feel like they kind of outplayed themselves a little bit by hitting that lower bomb site, right? But luckily Infinite, again, we talked about him heading into this series, was the impact player. That's the key. He's able to step up in a big way. He finds the perfect timing, the perfect gap to catch them off guard in that lower bomb site and find Florence on the op. RZU cutting off rotations in towards the lobby reaggression. So, you know, even if they do outplay themselves, the more experienced players stepping up here in a round like this, RZU and Infinite, to close that round out. So, again, Maybe it's more labor than it needed to be, but the job finished, round converted, and that's what matters most here. All of a sudden, you can start pulling things back off of that round here. And we can start to talk about Brazen actually making a case to try and close this one out here, but it's a long road ahead. They've got to win this round. It's the first step.
If you want to make any dent in that economy, it's got to be here. They're out squeak cold. This is a lot of space being given over to Brazen, and Nice, he's trying to take matters in his own hands. He's dropped the bomb.
Oh, and creating a lot of chaos here. Dane has slipped in towards the closed event, but they're losing numbers. So Dane has to leave his forward positioning and try and recover the bomb, and it's all a game of timing here. Great moving in through the hut as well. You're going to be able to recover, but again, it's all about giving over that space that you once had. Now you no longer are afforded it. Bomb being retrieved here. Back on towards A they go here, just completely reversing. And, well, they will get it free of charge as well. They're able to punch through the numbers. Double up in towards Mini as well. Both players tucked in towards site, so post plants less than ideal. As they look to make their way on in. Freshie in towards Heaven. A little bit of utility, but both players, it's a very dangerous position. They got to play off each other perfectly. Great. Turning the corner is Kane, but the collapse is already through here. Running out of ammo is Lawrence in Heaven, but finds the kill nonetheless, and the retake successful.
Great playing off the angles there from Kari Esports. I mean, it's a job well done. It felt a little bit dicey there, but Nice pushing through lobby after all that space was taken from Brazen down on the squeak door. That proactivity is actually what nets that chaos and the forcing of Dane to surge forward and recover the bomb. It throws the whole round into chaos, and Kari reroute themselves, get that 13th, and essentially the last possible buy here for Brazen. They're running out of opportunities here for Brazen to get back into this game, especially after the amount of momentum that they had, the amount of opportunities that they had on the offensive half alone. You gotta feel for Brazen. The mental in that state of the series must certainly be all over the place.
I think you heard this drop off from Infinite now. He has slipped on by anyways. Cryptic's going to call that over to his teammate here and focus more so on pulling off a little bit of a lobby flank potentially. This is going to get really interesting. A little bit ratty coming through from Cryptic as he has the round essentially in the palm of his hands. He's calling for the rest of his team just to wait things out as he turns the corner. Oh, this is over. Gonna drop one, get out of dodge, just continue to play, and he's gonna strike as well from Squeaky. This is a perfect 1-2 punch here. Cryptic doing it all, and he even finds another kill on the flank. It's all on the back of Infinite, who they know exactly where he is because of the aggression coming through from Cryptic and the calls that have taken place. I mean, 45 seconds in this round, essentially over.
2 kills in the round from Cryptic, but they're so damn impactful. Wonderful stuff there. I mean, you talked about him in the pregame, Cole, and he is certainly living up to expectations thus far. So much impact outside, so much willingness and aggressiveness to take charge and take these fights. Coming out on top pretty regularly. I mean, even if you're going even in this situation in terms of KDA, every kill matters. All that impact seriously amounts to something. And as the time whittles down, Kari inch their way to a 14th, inch their way to a map victory after quite, I mean, earlier on in the T half of Kari, we really were trying to write them off. It felt like Brazen were running away with things, but getting those 7 T rounds and then easily racking up the kills on the opening CT pistol and then converting all of that momentum, it's all worked out in their favor, and they're looking hot to trot.
Very much so. Seems like these, timeouts, a lot of the work being done here in the in-betweens of these rounds has been not successful as well, right? We saw a kind of flash in a pan round here coming through from Infinite, and even in that round, I think we still saw some game plan struggles and calling struggles come through from Brazen in the idea sense. Definitely. That are pretty brutal to try and win a game, or rather a map from. So Kari looking to take home the prize here at the end of the day. They're getting close to it as well. Rounds off here, and the buy less than ideal. Couple gleals here and there, definitely lacking that utility. A lot of lobby
Fast
presence.
up here. And they've gotten a kill already on the Grape. This has gone from bad to worse. Nice, JT, all chiming in with their own frags. RZU finally pulls them back. It feels like a second, but quite a difficult situation here. It's all gone wrong for Brazen. And a dunk from Florence to close. Man, this is just pristine work here. They've gotten all the confidence in their court, and they're looking to close.
RZU gets a taste of his own medicine there as well, man. He landed that same HE
Yeah.
in the first half. Now he throws it right on back. Oh, man. It's got to be sweet, sweet revenge there for Kari. Is there one off the close? And I mean, even in some of these last couple of rounds, you're not even seeing too much sign of life. Brazen left standing. Some desperate plays here. Utility thrown out towards the outer yard here. One last hurrah. As the pack makes his way down secret, Cryptic has been a nuisance. Will he be able to shine through the smoke? He doesn't spot him as they pass on by, but again, these rotations are going to be met to the punch. Freshie's going to be playing out on this B side in time here, but it's going to be cutting it close. He's not going to open those double doors. Instead, he's going to just take a position forward. Stuck in on this bomb site. Certainly going to need some help soon, though.
Interesting off angle here from Freshie. It feels a little bit one and done, but he's going to need a little bit more than just one kill before he falls out of play.
So the door swing is open here. Like you said, a one position, but it's not even a singular. He gets taken down by the Gleel of Grape of all guns here, and now that the numbers being punched in here, the plant is in place, shots through the smoke, not connected. Instead, Infinite goes on the aggro and is going to collect another kill. They're super focused in on ramp, but don't realize that that lower bottom side is where everyone lies. JT Mythic going to start to call it clear. But time of essence here. Finally, you see Nice starting to pull things back here. Utility thrown out to allow Cryptic to start to scale up here, but they need to find a way to isolate these fights. They're giving him fights. In fact, Grape going to go down as he plays aggressive as ever. And Polo showing shoulder here in a secret position, but he doesn't have to show. Just has to find time here for the bomb. And that's exactly what he does. Eventually, we'll be closed out there, and Brazen will recover, but they were giving him a couple of scary fights.
Oh, that was tight as you'd like. I mean, Brazen still working through with the crossfires very well. You really wanted to have one there from Freshie. Round would have certainly been secured, maybe the map as well. But the UMP reigns supreme from Grape. Very unlikely weapon. You don't really see that these days. And Brazen hang on by a thread. Look, if they're going to be scrappy, those are the rounds that you really want in your favor, especially when the more strategical aspects of your game on this map haven't been working out in your favor. You need those individuals to step up, and step up they have once the bomb's gotten down. But they've got to do it 3 more times. They got to rot through this economy. And Nice has got an opener.
Not to start. I don't think it's going to be the finish either. Florence does miss his op shot. A little bit struggling to get around the corner, but he will make it successfully. The dismount and a lot of map control established here. Brazen's still dealing with a man disadvantage. They're going to have to claw this one back here. Up the heaven they go. Not so convinced, actually. Hold that thought, they say. And RZU start to make the aggression in towards lobby, retaking this control. The thing is, RZU, or rather, Florence has all of lower under wrap and key. So this should be right upon here. Nice is going to strike in for another kill. Still on low HP. He finds impact, and they're just going to try and desperately move out towards heaven. JT Mythic dodge over the flash, though. He has support from the back lane. Polo jiggling out, though, showing presence is Mythic. He's got to get out of this position. He needs some sort of support here, and RZU's able to strike from the hut, and then Polo finds one as well. They don't expect Cryptic to be lurking in through towards Mini already, but maybe they should. He knows that RZU's tucked in towards the opposite vent here. Unsure of where Polo's location is on the reroute, but he's going to find at least RZU. That's going to be one. The first piece of the puzzle found out. Cryptic now needs to find the second inside of the hut. Smoke going on top of the bomb. He's just going to go for the full stick. Behind the smoke. He's going to look to dodge up with the shots, but it's already been defused. No, Brazen win it. Polo saves the day by mere margins.
Oh, I mean, Frozone fake, sure. I honestly thought he had the jump on the Brazen player there. I mean, what a insane round there. Just trades back and forth. Just gnarly, scrappy rounds there to win for Brazen. But again, they're winning these clutch scenarios, these man-even situations and late-game situations. It's tough to do that, to stay in, keep your mental calm, and that's broken the bye here for Kari. We're gonna have to go all 30 rounds to start out this series, and it's not pretty, but they're getting the job done.
I didn't think we were going to get 30 out of this one. I thought that they were just going to have an easy pathway, comfortable and cozy on in towards the closer here. And I think they had that at one point. All of a sudden, they've lost their grasp on this game, and a little late resurgence from Brazen is exactly what the doctor ordered. Oh, man, if they can keep their heads in this one, that would be absolutely insane. I mean, this is what you're talking about at the end of this series. It's the experience, the plethora of it, versus maybe young guns here that are looking to prove themselves. But the issue now being they still got to find a path to 16.
Just freshly with this lone USP, and when we get to these late game situations, I mean, you're completely right. The experience trumps every day. When you get and honestly, the rounds that they have been winning here as well, it comes down to kind of staying within the realms of the game and staying confident and poised that you can still pull this back, even if you're on the offensive side of things, a more difficult half. So, as the timer ticks down, we look towards this final bye in regulation for Kari. And we're looking, I mean, honestly, I like the stuff that I'm seeing from Cryptic, and we've not actually talked enough about Nice, though. I mean, his multi-kill potential has been absolutely fantastic thus far. Constant, you know, anchoring. There's some aggression as well to double up with the AWPs. It's been really nice to see him perform. Not necessarily a player that you would talk about on a regular basis for this Kari squad, but it's definitely a welcome one this time around.
Yeah, no, the value add that this guy brings to the table, especially when he's performing, is very promising. Like you said, the guy's just nailing some of these multi-frags. A couple on that T side that have netted him some openings. So, you gotta give him so much credit. You're exactly right. Flew under my radar, but he certainly should, because when he's at the top of the scoreboard there, it does feel like Kari could be unstoppable, especially if they have this 1-2 punch. Not only is he finding the kills, but he's setting up Cryptic to find him as well here. And all of a sudden, they are desperately trying to regain their control in this round. But a 5-on-3, you couldn't ask for a better position to be in if you're Kari Esports, and sticking around is Freshie. He's not going to give up ramp that easy. One player more spotted in towards that lower bomb site, but both lie in now. Polo and Grape left to clutch things out. 4-on-2. A tricky task here. Bomb not so interested in committing in towards this B bomb site. Instead, they want to take a different approach.
Another reroute, but look at this. We've got already posted up by Florence, and it's just down to Grape. Another bit of indecision there from Brazen, and it cost them. Honestly, that round sums up this game entirely, right? Like, so many opportunities where there's map control open for Brazen, opportunities for them to potentially get ways back into these rounds or close them out, and they just like hesitate. They doubt themselves, and it comes back to bite them. And Kari take their map pick. It was a hard fought battle. There was tribulations along the way, but they're